This is Will Chandler, handle of Guardian Fury. I'm going to read you guys a letter that gives an overview of mine and Vicky's life, just as a preview for some information we're going to be putting out there and doing some videos about our life together, and just exposing some of how the Jehovah's Witnesses operate and how they do fail to protect children. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to reading it. It says, my name is Will Chandler and my fiance's name is Vicky Luck. We're both raised as Jehovah's Witnesses and have a story that intertwines in a way that we think will go far to bringing down the cult of our youth. Vicky and I met in 1994 in Vernon, Texas. She had become pen pals with my sister the year before. My mother and older sister went to the International Convention in Russia in 1993. There, my mother and sister met Vicky's father and brother. Her family is from England. Vicky and my sister, Stacy, became pen pals through meeting Vicky's father and brother. The next year, Vicky and her older brother, Nathan, both as minors, came to visit us in the USA for 6 weeks. My stepfather was a known pedophile at the time of applying for having family go to the International Convention. A year or so before the International Convention, I had turned my stepfather in for pedophilia. The local elders, the circuit overseer, and the headquarters knew of his proclivity for minors when the application to send family members to the International Convention was approved. I was left alone with my abuser while my mother and sister went to the Jehovah's Witness Convention in Russia. At a minimum, the local elders and circuit overseer knew that there were 2 minors being sent to a pedophile's house for 6 weeks, months before it happened. We were considered an exemplary family that was serving where the need was great. My mother found the Jehovah's Witnesses when I was young and became a true believer. And she became a true believer, that is. She left my non-believing father, taking my older sister and I with her when I was 2. He was cast to us as the devil incarnate all through our youth. My mother, sister, and I were targeted by a member of a pedophile ring in the Lewiston, Maine congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses where my mother had taken us. When I was 5, they were married. My sister and I endured every kind of abuse from him, to include trafficking me in the USA and Canada. My mother finally left my stepfather in the fall of 1994. We went back to Maine from Texas. The following year, I reconnected with my birth father and left the Witnesses to go live with him and my stepmother in Virginia. I joined the U.S. Army in 1999. My first duty station was the Presidential Salute Battery as a member of the Old Guard, also known as the Honor Guard in Washington, D.C. I was a first responder at the Pentagon on 9/11/2001. I had been to combat and was wounded and medically retired due to a friendly fire incident in Iraq in 2009. Vicky was raised as a Jehovah's Witness in a very physically abusive household. She disassociated from the Witnesses at 19 after experiencing firsthand the dishonesty and corruption that is prevalent throughout the Jehovah's Witness organization. To this day, she is dealing with the shunning that has been imposed by this loving organization. And of course, there's many, many details to add to her story, but I'll let her be the one to voice those. When Vicky and I met, it was love at first sight. We were each other's first love and first kiss. We had a plan that I would come to England by the time I was 21 and we would live happily ever after. Life got in the way and it took me 26 years to find her again. That was 2.5 years ago and we are now engaged. As you can imagine, there are a plethora of details to add to our story, to include quite a few pictures. Vicky and I are very keen on doing our part to expose the Jehovah's Witnesses and help protect the innocent. We would like to work with you and others in the EXJW community to help push positive change in the world. We would also like to do our part promoting this and supporting the ex-Jehovah's Witness protests in Washington, D.C. later this year. And there's a couple more things to add in there. And so that was just a letter that we sent out to a few activists, and just wanted to put that word out there as far as our story, and just like a preview, like I said. And thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.